you'll have to get the iPad out. I want to do it the old-fashioned way again. Hey Del, how are we doing? So yeah, I'll have to get the chat up on this screen over here. Bear with me, please, folks. Typical Inforunners fashion, unorganized as hell.
Unrelated problems have caused a matter of grief.
Yeah. Inforunners fashion, unorganized. So there we go, we're working. Hey, Blamsmith, meow. And Riddick, hey, how are you guys doing? ISC's not out yet, but hopefully it will be shortly. And we can do a review of that. But yeah, let us know your questions. Maybe we can get Del to prompt people for us for questions, if you wouldn't mind. Ah, ISC is live. Okay. Let's have a quick look then. I will go onto the YouTubes. Bear with me. Man, it's like they knew. Yeah, 2 minutes ago they knew it was coming.
I know, but still, we'll wait for Inforunners. I got you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, I'm gonna get kicked out of game because we're gonna go watch ISC.
Well,
but
the game just crashed.
Oh, your game crashed?
No, the Star Citizen just crashed.
Yours? Okay, we'll load it back up afterwards. We'll be fine. All right, I'm gonna flick us over to the browser.
Rivers are more than just water. They're a place to explore. They're a place to find harvestables. That you can pick up. They're a place where everything is amplified versus the surrounding terrain. And the very first river will be in 317 through the hills of Microtech.
Try again, Algared.
Okay, and I'm talking normally. I can see it moving into the green. I'm not going into the red at all, but yeah.
So Algared moved his sound setup all around and stuffed it on us.
Yeah, I did move the sound setup, but that's because we've got new lights, and we need to make room for the lights to go. So I had to start playing around with where the sound was going to come from, or the setup.
Since this time last year, we started to take rivers from
Can you guys
tech demo.
Just tell me if you can hear that, guys. Can you guys hear that? Is it coming through?
I can't hear the game stream at all.
You can't hear the.
Yeah, I can't hear. The
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I can't hear it.
No, I don't either.
I've now got like 10 different audio captures here, and yeah, I don't know what to do, because you should be able to hear it on this one, and the fact that you can't, I don't know what to do, Algared.
I can hear you clearly. I just can't hear the
Alright, we'll try audio output capture. And we'll just call it browser, and we'll see if we can get it to work.
If not, I'll watch it through the someone's a Doctor Who fan. Because they've called it River Song.
Alright, so we're probably going to get double audio here, so just be wary. I'm going to press play and see if it works. Can you guys hear
Rivers
that now?
are more than just water. They're a place to explore. They're a place to
yeah,
find harvestables.
No one in chat is
pick
telling
up.
me if they can hear sound.
They're
or
a
not,
place
so...
where everything is amplified versus the surrounding terrain. And the very first river.
Quite honestly, Algared, if you can't hear it, that's the least of my concerns. No offense, but I need. Can anyone stream?
I would just watch it through.
Can anyone in stream actually hear it, please? Can anyone tell me, did they hear that when I played it? Yes. Okay. Cool. I'm not going to worry about you, Algared. Sorry, but we're going to move on.
No, that's okay. Like I said, I'd listen through the video.
Yeah.
But I'll probably
just play the video yourself. I'm going to play. We queue it up and we do it at the same time. All right. So tell me when you're ready to play.
Okay, hang on, let's go back to 0. Okay. Oh. And ready to play.
1, 2, 3, play.
Rivers are more than just water. They're a place to explore. They're a place to find harvestables that you can pick up. They're a place where everything is amplified versus the surrounding terrain. And the very first river will be in 317 through the hills of Microtech. Since this time last year, we started to take rivers from what was a pretty tech demo to something we could release. We thought we were ready to put this out in 316. We were pretty happy with what we had, but we still needed some more changes to bring it ready to put out into the PU. We started by doing a refactor all of our object scattering so we could have far more power and far more performance when we're distributing objects across the planet. One of the biggest things I wanted to improve as well was to increase the density around the rivers, but without increasing the global density of our objects, this was going to be difficult, which led me to work on on-demand spawn points, a system where we can pass a position to the biome builder and it will automatically scatter appropriate assets at that location. We now procedurally place on-demand spawn points along the length of the river and around the basin. One of the major things that we had to add was dressing presets, which allow us to add specific objects around locations like rivers. And we also had to build the river mesh from the ground up, which involves spline mesh building, which took a long time. That did sadly mean that we missed 316, but it's all the better for it, as we've worked on all of these different interactions for the player with the rivers. For example, as of 317, you may now walk down into rivers and oceans as long as you are wearing a helmet.
Oh, wow.
You may explore underwater.
Underwater, not swimming.
You won't drown. You can now drive gravlev bikes over both oceans and rivers.
Oh, they need the waves. They need the waves for rivers, though.
We also have harvestables around the river's edge for you to explore and collect. We also did a rework of our water caustic system, meaning that there are water caustics thrown by the river and its basin, both onto objects above the water, like your ship or trees or rocks, and onto the surface below.
Wow. Nice line.
I like the vehicle.
Planet Content team haven't had a full chance to take a visit of the oceans yet, so while there are assets down there, you can expect improvements in coming patches.
When you go through the water, in and out.
The next big improvement to rivers is going to be fizz areas, so you can throw things into the river and watch them flow down. As well
Dead
as
bodies
work on the
in the
foliage
river.
shader, which is going to create more varied and seasonal foliage across our planets as well as just the rivers. In the future, what I want is for an artist to be creating a planet and say, okay, I'm happy with the elevation, let's create a river system, and for it to be done. And we're not quite at that stage yet. Each river is maybe 1 or 2 clicks, but it needs to be hundreds of rivers per planet without even thinking about it. The river in 317 doesn't have any missions or QT markers to find it with, so you will have to go exploring to find it, although hopefully this video has been a help.
River tech is more than just adding running water to the surface of our planets and moons. It's the collective gathering of mesh and shader, erosion and foliage, traversal over, under, and through the surface. And it's the harbinger of things like lava fields and roads and so much more. And up next on this week's show, a look at upcoming efforts to improve our reputation and hostility systems in Alpha 317 and beyond.
We just got done running Ninetales, Xena Threat, and Jump Town. You seem to be really enjoying these dynamic events. You're running bounty missions, you're running assassinations, all these things, and we're really excited about that. As a designer, it's pretty difficult to look at these and not see all the little things that we can do to make this better, to make these not just good, but great. And in order to do that in the near future, we're going to be implementing some new features into the Reputation and Hostility systems.
Did you, I'm just pausing an Algared, did you guys see the thing on the roadmap for the dynamic mission system too? They're finally starting to implement that too. These are all the things that we've kind of been saying about, like, that once server mission comes in, it opens the door because they're just going to have more bandwidth to do stuff. That's another one of those things on that list. Yep. That whole system we've seen before, it's all been planned out, just sitting there ready to go.
Well, two things with the rivers that I was surprised by that when he said putting in a river is basically 2 clicks.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got everything done, bang, bang, river goes in. All that tech that they've been doing, all that stuff they've been doing, that's huge. Like, just to give those tools to the designers to be able to do it in like 2 or 3 clicks. That's big. And
they'll
the other thing,
probably add it to maps, Algared, like the geography, so it can go, well, this is a low point here, so if you want,
so
put
the water's going to pool.
Yeah, put a river in, or maybe even a dry riverbed. Because it's not just, it's anything that's like a track. So that's going to lead to roads.
He said harbinger to lava and roads.
Yep.
So that's exactly what we've been saying since the very first time I talked about rivers. We said that is roads.
Yep.
It's nice to hear them say the things we've been saying, which were I think blatantly obvious. That's where we are heading with it. But it's nice to hear them actually say that. I think that's the first time I've heard them say this is what either a precursor to roads. And I also like the fact that it's over, under, through. So river courses will go underground. They'll go through the mountains. They'll go, so you will get the underground rivers. That's massive area to explore.
Blam Smith is just stating in chat that he wants new mechanics, but I think you'll find that the missions will come with the mechanics as well. So I'm expecting to start getting mining missions and salvage missions and all the others that are coming later this year. I think that's a part of it, Blam Smith. I think they're going to come at the same time, type of thing. So yeah. All right, playing the video again.
With the current reputation system, all of your relationships to NPCs are static. That means that essentially you can't become friends with the criminals, and you can't become enemies with the law enforcement. In addition, if you shoot someone, just a single bullet can make it so that everyone around you suddenly starts raining hell down upon you. And that can be a pretty awful experience.
Yep. That's my life every time.
We're going to be looking to address that in a multitude of ways. We're going to be looking to have reputation start driving hostility. So essentially, how NPCs react to you and how you see them. As you become more and more friendly, build up that affinity with NPCs of a certain organization, they will begin to shift their opinion of you. You can actually do missions or content for Ninetales, and if you get to a certain point in their bar, they will stop shooting at you and start just letting you go by, and then eventually even start protecting you.
Real quick, I've paused it. Is that a new Hammerhead skin, or is it just me? Because it used to be like black and orange. That's like black and red. Anyone else confirm that? That looks new to me. Anyway, you want to say, Algared?
The other thing with that is what he was saying there is, again, what we've been saying about Pyro. People saying, oh, Pyro's going to be so good. I'll be able to do piracy with you. But as I've said, if I've got faction with a group that's in control and you attack me, you're going to screw up your reputation. And if I've got faction with them and you've got faction with them, you attack me. From what he said, they're going to start attacking you. If I've got good factions.
But it means now if you accidentally shoot someone, you don't just instantly be a bad guy. You might lose like 100 points of reputation or something. That's heaps better, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it really does say that it's not just Pyro's a bad place to be. Pyro's a bad place to be if you don't have rep with the controlling power.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean pirates are just going to, people who want to do piracy are just going to be a carte blanche. I can do whatever I want because I'm in pirate territory or because I've got faction.
Okay, everyone keeps saying that you're super low. I've turned him up twice, so I really don't know what else to do.
Okay.
Can you talk for me, Algared?
I am talking, and I'm doing a nasty thing, and now I've got a camera in the shot as well.
All right, so
yeah,
so if
that fixes it a little.
If I talk, it peaks. If you talk, it literally
drops out.
Yeah, you're a lot lower. So
okay, can I go in and change?
So Algared moved his microphone around today, and it's caused a whole bunch of problems.
Yep.
But...
And we were going to do a sound check, and we forgot because we were running behind and everything else. So we apologise for that.
So trying to fix it on the fly.
I'm going to try and do output volume jack up.
Yep, try talking when you're ready.
Okay.
No, yeah. So you're only getting to.
Now I'm talking now.
Yeah, you're only getting to 30. Again? You're only getting to 30 decibel Algared.
Okay, and I've jacked the volume up high. I'll go to full volume. I'll go as high as I can on the volume in YouTube, not in YouTube, in Discord.
Yep, I've chucked you to 200% on Discord.
Yeah, I've chucked mine to 200% now as well.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be going any higher.
All right, can I move it closer?
Just put it in shot, Algared. Just talk right into it. I don't give a shit.
Well. Okay, that should fix things for people because that is like seconds away from.
No, it's still not hot. It's still not going up. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, let me just check, but it's still going through the road instead of some other stupid thing. Because you know what happens sometimes with Discord and other video and voice.
Yeah,
And let's try changing it back to a Rode Podcaster, which should have dropped off.
Okay. Talk again?
How's that?
No, you're still only getting about 30 decibel.
Any better?
No. So, yeah. Unfortunately, guys, you're just going to have to put up with it because I don't know how to... I'm going to have to do it off stream. So if I can turn it up, but then I'm going to be way too loud. Wait, what if I turn myself... Yeah, hang on. And then I'll turn myself down.
Okay. Nope. I am set as a Rode Podcaster. So the mic's a Rode Podcaster, so that should be right.
Alright, try talking for me, Algared.
And trying to talk now.
Yeah, so I've turned it up, but I'm still higher than you, so hang on.
Okay.
Don't touch anything. I'll just tweak it this end, and I'll get it there. Just give me a second. Just turn myself down a little bit more. Trying to guess the same. This is why you don't do shit live. He's not completely gone.
No, I'm not gone.
He's still here. Alright, so if I talk...
Alright.
Hang on, Algared, I've got to do it separately. So this is me talking. Algared, can you talk, please?
And this is Algared talking.
He's still lower than me, and I've turned myself down by quite a bit. I'll just do it again.
My mic's only like that far away, so...
Yeah, I know. I don't know what you've done, but you've done something on your end. We'll get it sorted later.
Yep.
And
I've got my mic up as high as I can get it in Discord, so...
Yeah. Did you turn it up in Windows, though? That might be what you've actually need to turn up.
Let's see what's happened.
Yeah.
You know what computers are like.
Yep. No, I know what you're like.
Shut up.
All right. Was it turned down in Windows?
It didn't seem to be. I will double check again.
No, there's no volume on the mic. It's just, yeah. And I'm actually peaking now quite a lot to keep. Yeah. So I'm going to have to turn it down, and then you can just turn this up or whatever, because like, I don't like the mic peaking all the time. But I've turned myself down to 80%. I can go lower. And I'll try and get it done that way.
Yeah.
I can also just turn my mic down like this. And can you talk for me, Algared?
And I am talking.
Yeah. Now we're about the same. So now I'll turn it up a bit. Test.
Test.
Is that now we're about the same, guys? On your end? Hopefully that's good. Test.
Test.
Yeah, he's turned up really loud in Discord. And I'm going to turn him down in Discord because it seems to be making absolutely no difference to the sound at all. Can you talk again, please, Algared?
And I'm testing and talking normally.
It's really weird. There's like no difference to Discord at all. Yep. All right,
yeah,
cool.
They said it sounds better. Sounds good. Sounds good. All good.
All right. We'll do some work on that soon.
It was called trying to change things because we do have new lighting, so it was trying to start to arrange things for the new lighting.
All right, here we go.
By the same measure, if you start attacking law enforcement or committing too many crimes, after a certain point, Crusader Security is going to start hunting you down and attacking you on site instead of waiting for you to commit a crime. On the side of making it so that people don't attack you when
So I just turned the video volume down.
just fire a single bullet. We're looking at in the slightly more distant future,
Just ignore it,
where
don't
if
worry
you
about
are in the green zone with a organization, if they really, really like you, then they actually have a larger threshold that you have to break over in order to cause them to want to attack you. We don't want it to be global so that players can't abuse it, but we do want it to be something that is a bit of a benefit if you go and make friends with these people. In 3.17, these changes are going to be largely invisible to players. It's really more about, at this point, giving the feature and the tools to our developers so that we can continue building the content that our players and our developers really want in 3.18 and onward. This content will enable us to, for instance, in Xenothreat, make it so that you can actually be on the side of the Xenothreat.
Sorry, Algared, what'd you say? Algared?
Sorry?
What did you say?
I said I don't like that. I don't like the idea that you can side with Xenothreat, mainly because
that's player choice, man.
I know players want to do that, but the way in which Xenothreat the way they currently have Xenothreat, they say, hey, you're either with us, you're either against us, or you're not there.
Yeah, well, I think this is a sign of things to come, though. Like it's very heavily reputation based, like Freelancer was.
Yep, it sounds like they're going very much to make Xenothreat another version, a scaled down or a scaled up version of Ninetales, and I think you actually want almost a PvE, a PvE co-op version plus a PvP co-op version as well. You want the different types of gameplay to suit the different types of people. I quite enjoy doing Xenothreat, but I don't necessarily enjoy doing Ninetales or
Starjump is in chat and he just said, just watched ISC myself, rivers look pretty cool. I hope that we don't get one river and it sits like that for 2 years. I think more likely it'll go into the planetary tech and they'll just redo the systems again.
Yeah, and the way the designer even talked about that was the fact that it was a tool for the designers. So once they've got their heights, they go, I want a river here, click, click, and a river system will be developed. But we're only going to have one river to start with because it's a test bed. And they're going to make, once that's polished and everything's working, and and he even said it's not quite where they want it to be now, but it's good enough to go in.
Yeah.
And I can see, like I said earlier, I can see fishing, exploration of rivers, and all the rest of it. And they mentioned 90% of that stuff as stuff we've been talking about. But I could see fish being in the rivers. I could see the critters to find. I could see the nasty people getting fish from another planet and introducing them to somewhere else, and possibly the species taking over and becoming a threat. I could see
deliberately so like pirates could kind of do that to kind of stuff up
ruin an economy.
The ecosystem, stuff up the ecosystem, and then that's got carry-on effects that actually affects the machines and other things on the planet. So it's a whole ecosystem that you can stuff with.
Dump instead of just trolling other players to destroy the
in addition, for Jump Towns, this will help us to sort of patch some of the holes where players can exploit the system by grabbing a quick crime
videos playing
already pulled out their packages and not have to actually fight people in order to get their drugs. This also enables us to take a lot of our existing content for the lawful side and make criminal missions, so that there is actually content in the game for criminals to do in the long term, not just with these events. And of course, with additional dynamic events rolling out in the future, we can start building with this in mind from the start. This feature will allow us to say that this event is going to have this faction versus this faction, and players will be able to be on those sides in a much more permanent and invested fashion.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Microtech's first river is the next step forward in the systemic tools that will allow developers to bring more texture, hazard, and opportunity to Star Citizen's planets and moons. That the reputation system and its continuing development remain at the heart of enabling developers to create more meaningful and effective mission content. And that upcoming hostility changes means maybe I won't get punished so quickly when I turn a friendly hello into accidental, unintended friendly fire. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
Short and sweet. But yeah. Some interesting things
pretty
there.
good.
Yeah, some interesting things
there.
there.
Very interesting things there, weren't there?
Upcoming. Yeah, so that means there's probably a lot more quests coming. Like a lot more.
I'm not sure I like the idea of some events being, I'd like to see dynamic events that were PvE co-op. PvP
the thing is, though, it's like Space says, mate, there's got to be things in this game that you hate because it's got to accommodate for everyone.
That's right. But if every dynamic mission is a carbon copy of the other thing, then there's no dynamic mission that I'm going to like.
Yeah.
I quite like Xenothreat, where it's just co-op and everyone working against them. But I don't necessarily like Jumptown. I don't necessarily like Ninetales. I haven't done any of those two.
Yeah.
Despite how many, because I'm not necessarily into, I'm tired. I don't want to have to fight and deal with the players being bastards. So I'm not saying we don't want those PvP events and a different degree of complexity and that faction versus faction. But you do want, I think, events that do cater to PvE and do cater for PvP and do cater for both aspects to appeal. So you're appealing to the widest branch of your audience, not just one branch where others kind of sit on the periphery. And if you do that type of thing, then if you've got just a PvE co-op event, and people have lots of fun there, they might be drawn into doing a PvP co-op event, and that might draw them into just doing a straight-out PvP event. And so you can grow your community, but to just hobble one aspect of the community and say, well, all events are going to be the same in terms of it can end up being PvP, just sucks, in my opinion. But it's that idea. It's not saying I don't want to see PvP. It's saying I want to see a breadth of things that cover everybody.
Are you on your way to Lawville?
I was until I crashed, remember? And then you said, don't worry about it, we'll watch the video, because then CIG decided to bring out their video.
Yep. Alright, well, get in here.
So I will get in ASAP.
There was a question, I saw it. I'll go back now and look through everything, because I'm going to have to talk to Pickles and get that bot fixed. I don't know why it's not working. But, wait. Algared, your camera's gone down as well.
Okay.
Don't know why, but it has.
I think I know why, because I stupidly, accidentally, just shut down the window that it was running from. My apologies.
Yeah, I don't know why the bot's not working. I'll have to talk to it. Yep, it's deleted all the stuff. Let me see if I can get this one working real quick. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this bot working. Nope, it's literally so I got to put all the details in again. So I will have to get Pickles to help me with that one. So yeah, bot won't be working today. Algared's camera's down. Oh, it's a wonderful day.
Oh, a wonderful day to stream.
Alright, so you're going to be ages getting here though, aren't you? So I might just come...
I will. I am at Port Tressler and I'm in the process of logging in again because the game had crashed.
Yeah.
It was the first crash I'd seen, you know, apart from the crash we had the other day. That's the second crash that I've seen in a week.
Dell asked a question, but I can't find his question. So, if, Dell, just message me on Discord, man, and I'll answer it. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so if you guys got any questions, just in square brackets questions, and we'll shoot them off to you. But yeah, we definitely have some technological issues today. Yeah.
Technological issues set to try us. Come on, load up. Load up. And unfreeze that. And do the mic. Okay, I should be back on camera.
Yep.
So I'm back on video too?
Yep. You want?
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Of course, it's...
Question is, will my ship be needing to be reclaimed again? Because I had left the station when the game crashed.
So I'm just redoing my guns. I think this is the ones that I put on it. Yes. And wait, that's the mount itself. That's gonna be this one. That's it. Yep. So that's my build for the Hurricane, and then I've got to do Bounty Defender.
In terms of a conversation going on in our chat at the moment, if you're sightseeing in a war zone, don't think you're safe. You know, like there is in the system where there's a civil war, where the old facilities of light, the Empire's light facilities, basically their political prisons were. That system is in civil war, and they basically said, do not come here. If we see your ships, we're going to shoot you. So don't think just because you're sightseeing without cargo you're safe. You know, if you're flying in a war zone, regardless of who you are, you're asking for trouble. If you're flying cargo, you've just got more to lose. So yeah, I think there's a lot of depth to all those things. Even with Xeno threat, I think there's a lot of depth to Xeno threat, and looking at the lore, and maybe when they do the dynamic missions with their PvP aspect and that whole idea of faction and everything else, I'll play it and go, okay, it's cool. But at the moment, my thought is you want to have events that are purely PvE co-op, not just I'll run around and pick up envelopes. You want to have an unfrozen again.
Yeah. Myriad of issues you're having today. Don't worry about it. Just live with it. I think it's just going to keep going.
You know, so lots of, you know, I want to see the depth, and I want to see the breadth, and I want to see the game and the missions and the types of missions to be there that appeal to every type of person who's backed the game. I don't just want it to be, this is PvP heaven, and if you're not a PvE player, then get good. Sucked in, you're a loser. That's not right. But on the other side, it shouldn't be, well, you're a PvE player, sucked in, there's nothing for you. There has to be that balance. And if every mission ends up being a PvP mission, then where's the balance? Yep. So that's my frustration. That's my frustration with Xeno threat changing, because the way Xeno threat was set up is it's a big, massive enemy who basically said, we're taking over. We're called to defend the system, because these guys have said, they've even said, get out of our way, or you're siding with the enemy. They're not saying they want allies. They're saying, screw you. You're in the system. You're either out of our way or you're an enemy. So, yeah. But that's my rant.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of the questions come through because I'm I can't drive and do questions at the same
Yeah,
time. So if you can get onto that,
we
Algared.
really need you guys. If you're asking a question, please brackets question.
Yeah. Well, Dell had one, but I think he. Wait, hang on. I think he did actually message me. Here he goes.
Our bot isn't working.
Question: do you think that with the upcoming reputation changes, that pirates will eventually only be allowed to spawn at Grimhex? Yep, maybe that could be a thing because you could just be spawned and automatically arrested. That's true.
Yeah, Grimhex or eventually Pyro. Yeah, Xenothreat's not intended as a PvP event, but what they were saying is they're actually looking at making it so that you can have faction with Xenothreat and side with Xenothreat and play Xenothreat as a Xenothreat ally. That turns it into a PvP event. So, yeah.
It does.
Yes, Marco Light. At the moment, that is the case. That Xenothreat is mostly killed by Xenothreat. But the second they change it and say you can side with Xenothreat, it becomes a PvP event. Just like Ninetales. If Ninetales, if you couldn't faction with the bad guys or the good guys in Ninetales, it would be a mirror copy of Xenothreat.
I think you would agree though, Algared, it's a step along the way. It's not going to be like that in the end. I think you just find it might be like that for a little bit, and then it's the next step.
As I said, I might do that, and I might play Xenothreat and say, this is cool. Right? So, but at the moment, my concern is all the dynamic missions are going to be the same cardboard, the same format, faction versus faction.
Nah,
they've already can be with that faction and all the rest of it.
They've already talked about them in the past.
So
that's a worst case scenario, and I think you're jumping the gun there a bit. Just give it a bit of time.
Well, based on what he was saying, it's not. I'm hoping but I'm mishearing what he's saying. But based on what I heard him say, where you could get faction with Xenothreat and fight with Xenothreat instead of just briefing players. And I can see that problem, that the fact that people who want to side with Xenothreat are basically griefing players and interfering with Xenothreat, and I just think that's bastardry. Okay, you want to do player versus player, fine. Do it when you're in Ninetales or Jumptown. But in an event that is clearly set where the bad guys are saying, you stay out of our way, or you're the enemy. If you're siding with us, you're not in the area because
you need to go hang out with. You need to go hang out. You're just a little jaded. I can hear in your voice. You need to go hang out with Paul, man. He's the bad guy all the time. Oh, game crashed. Oh,
crashed again.
Vertify. Yeah, for me it crashed.
Well, I'm still in the menus at the moment, so right. I'm waiting for an invite.
Yep.
So when you get back, do you want me to log in? And actually, I'll log in and start going to where I need to go, and then you join. Then you can send me an invite and join off me. Question from Blumsmith. Xenothreat already had criminal missions this time round, didn't it? I don't know, because this time I actually couldn't get involved in Xenothreat just because
I think someone's at my door. Hold on 2 seconds.
And play and other things that were impacting on me. So yeah, I'm not sure about this time, but I would like to see. And whether you do Xenothreat as that, I still would like to see missions that were PvE co-op.
No, it's just me.
And also missions that are PvP co-op and missions that are just straight PvP. With faction versus faction, or I'm not sure. Or guild versus guild, or I want to see the whole breadth.
Let me ask these questions while I can see them, because there's like 5 of them now, and if we don't answer them, they're going to go off the screen and I'm going to lose them. So I've got one here from Macho Alright, who asked, the Titan should be buffed. The Titan, so I assume he means the Avenger Titan. Oh, I don't know, it's pretty strong as it is. What would you say to that, Algared?
I've always thought as a beginner ship, because it pretty is, it's not an Aurora or a Mustang, but it really is just shy of a next step up. And so as an advanced starter, it is a pretty damn good ship.
I think
so. Yeah, I'm not sure it needs buffing.
There's another question here from Blamsmith that kind of think relates to the one Dell asked that says, do you think there's a chance that Lagrange stations could be neutral for criminals to use until we get more systems? Honestly, I think you could get stations that are affiliated with different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I could see the current stations that do mining
invite
being
sent.
set up so they favour those with factions to the mining and are neutral to most other people. I could see stations that are aligned.
Did you get that invite?
I did.
Yep. All right, I'm loading it now on you. All right.
And I could see stations that are
actually
linked to the stations.
So there's a question here by Apple Crow that says, more of a comment, but I'd hope to have rep with Xenothreat would flush your rep with all other lawful commercial reps. I think it would be system to system.
Yeah.
Because I think I think that makes it way more interesting gameplay where you could be a total criminal in one system and then a total good guy in another system. I think that could be interesting.
Well, and I think even the way you look at Stanton and the way Stanton's set up, each of those planets have their own law system. Yeah, they've got to follow UEE law, but they've still got their own individual nuance and take on the law. And so I would like to see a situation where you're an absolute criminal and hated by Crusader, and so that station is locked off to you. But hey, because you've been working against the competition, ArcCorp love you and let you in. So it goes on those stations. I'd like to see even the planetary stations be linked. That if you're hated by the planet, that station hates you, but if you like by the planet, that station likes you. So
Blamsmith made a nice little comment like, he's wanted in 9 systems. Yeah, the Star Wars reference. I like that a lot. There was another question here, just let me find it. From Voodoo Child, question, Algared, what makes the PU non-PVU environment to begin with once you leave an Armistice zone? That's true. He's got you there.
Yeah, when you're looking at missions, right? I'm talking about missions and also the way the mission has been designed and written. The Xeno threat, they say, we're fighting against the corrupt, blah 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 blah. You stay out of, basically, if you're in the area, you're an enemy. So they're saying if you're siding with us, and you're not part of our organisation and part of our military and on our ships coming in, you're staying away. How can that become a PvP mission for people with faction with Xeno threat to suddenly be involved? Unless you're in their invasion fleet, they're saying stay away. That's how you show your support for us. That's just me. That's just my reading into it. So, okay. Drink has made a comment. Have a question for us. Make sure you start with a question. Yes, sorry.
He's asking people to ask questions.
People. Yep. Not a question for us. It's a, do you have a question for us? Make sure you have a question in the front so we can pick it out. Our bot's not working. We're doing it the old-fashioned way, and so we're likely to miss questions if they don't have that. And even if I do have that, we still might miss a question. But we'll try and pick them all. And under that, let's see, Macrolite, Titan should be buffed. Blasmith, do you think that there's a chance Lagrange rotations? You did that one as well. Apocro had another question, more of a comment, but I hope having rep with Xenos rep would flush your rep with, yep, and we've done that with one. And I kind of agree, it's kind of, I think I hope it'll do it with everyone, and or at least the system or the relevant areas, and there might be nuances, so depending on what your crime is, it might flash it with everyone. If it's crimes against UEE, then everyone gets flashed. If it's only crimes against Microtech, then Microtech's area gets flashed, but areas go, so what, who cares? You're competition, I don't care about that. Don't know about the criminal missions in Xenos at this time, as I said. I don't know if Execute saw them. I didn't get a chance to play Xenos threat this time around, which frustrated me.
It's still empty. I think that's the part of the problem, Algared, that you're saying, oh, like pirates are pissing me off because they're doing this and this. It's because they've got nothing else to do. That's the problem. Until both sides are filled out, there got to be things for both sides to do, essentially.
And I said that. I think that's the thing I want. I'm not saying, this mission shouldn't have this. I'm saying that there needs to be. And what I was hearing him say that all the missions are going to be faction related. He even said you can say that you can actually be a Xenothreat ally and engage with people in Xenothreat. And that changes the nature of Xenothreat. And I think you'll really want missions that are the PvE co-op. You want the PvE, PvP co-op. You want the PvP co-op. You want mayhem. I'm not saying you don't want those missions. I'm saying you want missions that cater for every single person's style of gameplay.
That's it.
So that someone who doesn't want to do PvP today can go and do a PvE co-op mission. People who don't want to do this can do that. And yes, as was said, when you leave an armistice zone, it is a PvE area. But if I go to do a mission that's PvE centered, the odds of me having PvE encounter are significantly higher than if I'm just flying to a station.
Yep. So
or if I'm doing a PvE event.
So Unlimited asks, Algared and Execute and any chat, any ideas when the next ship show will be? I would say it's St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. Would be the next one. But also, as someone pointed out, there's ships are always available. It just really comes down to if you're after a particular ship, really, at the end of the day, doesn't it? Yeah.
Or a particular skin. So St. Patrick's Day will most likely be the Ursa Rover in green, the P-72 in green. I think we'll probably get the Connie in green again, the Phoenix in green again.
Yeah.
Will probably be the Cutlass in green again, because I think they've done the Goblin green for the Cutlass. I can't think they might do the Gladius in green again.
No, those greens won't be done. Those greens for the Cutlass won't be done because they're the holidays. They're the Halloween skins.
That's a Halloween one. So, but they might.
But they had the MSR and they had the Constellation, and I think they had like a Cyclone. That's all I'm aware of. Yeah.
I know the Ursa, the P-52, and the Phoenix were St. Patrick's Day green. Yeah. They may do other ships. They may bring in another ship to offer the skin. They may make the Cutlass one available at that time, and we don't really know. But that's likely when the next sale will be.
It does not want to load this ship at all.
That's okay. I'm coming with the stilts.
Yeah.
I'm coming with stilts. Because it's got the Inforunners logo on the side, or the Inforunners name on the side. That's the only reason I picked it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, let's go. I'll scroll down the list. Let's see. Question from Macolight with refueling incoming. I think that was the next question. Yep. So with refueling incoming. This is from Macolight, or Macho All Right. With refueling incoming, is it better to increase the reclaim time and cost to incentivize or to incentivize you to keep your ship in one piece instead of self-destructing? If you're out of fuel, maybe. I can see a value in. I would like to see us get to the point where we're encouraged not to self-destruct our ships, regardless of where we are. So increasing the cost there would be great. And in terms of PvP, I've told the story a couple of times where I was talking to some people once and they said, what are you going to do if we board your ship? And I said, well, I'll self-destruct. And they said, you can't do that, Death of a Spaceman. I said, if I don't want to do PvP and you're boarding my ship and saying, give us your cargo, my experience so far with pirates in game is, I surrender my cargo, you kill me. I don't surrender my cargo, you kill me. And you take my ship. So if I self-destruct, you might get my cargo, you might get some wreck, but you're not getting my ship. And I might take some of you with me. And it's fine if I end up getting a death and I need to respawn a new character, and I have a longer time on my ship. Well, that's the penalty of me self-destructing. So, do we want to make the penalties harder for self-destructing? I think, but it shouldn't be the end of the world. What are your thoughts on that, X?
I really come back to the whole thing is that both sides are not in place. Like, it's way too early. For me, if you are going to take yourself out, you would want to be able to take enough people with you to make it worth it. And and I think you'd be able to do inaudible detonation alarms and audible. So like they get on the ship and it's like self-destruct in 2 minutes. You know, so you can get them to fuck off the ship and say, look, if you come on, we're just going to kill ourselves. And then they'll just start shooting at you or whatever and kill you anyway. I don't know, like, because as I said, like, I personally would rather, if I'm going to kill myself, I would want to take like 5 other people with me.
Yep, yeah. I'd rather take them. I'd rather take as many of them with me as I could. But if I can't take them with me, and it's a matter of just self-destructing to save my, you know, and so if you're getting less cargo or less value out of my ship, then yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's true. So
what's the negative side in terms of that? And I think there have to be consequences.
Well, there'll be rep damage when when you die, as in when you have to come back as another person.
Yeah, there'll be rep damage.
Yeah. So at the moment, the thing is the only consequences is waiting for your ship. But if if rep becomes involved, that'll stop you from doing that.
Yeah. If the chance of me dying and coming back as a new person.
Yep.
And my reps hammered.
Yep.
That's gonna, you know, and I think we've said it in the past. The big grind in this game is not necessarily ships. The big grind in this game is going to be rep.
Yep.
And hopefully the rep grind is going to be a lot more fun than flying here backwards and forward 50 times. So I've got the crash too.
Are you here yet, Algared, or not?
No, I am 60,000 kilometers away.
No, so you're not far away then.
No.
That elevator seems to be broken. Oh, no. Oh, there it is. Pad 1 when you get here, Algared.
Well, I'm already in the...
You should probably set your health place, though. Or is it already set to here? Are you telling me you could have killed yourself from the get-go?
I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe set your thing. I'll be waiting for you on pad 1.
Roger that.
You remind me of Treebeard, Algared.
Do I? Why do I?
Yeah. He's so fucking slow.
All good things take time.
Yeah, that's what he says. If it's not worth doing, we do. Oh, whatever. Some line like that. Yeah. So,
all good things take time.
There was a question there from Mako, right? Not my question.
Little hobbit.
People use self-destruct not as a self-defense, but more as an exploit, not to have them rearm and rebuilt. Yeah, going along the lines of what we just said.
But I'm not sure that going down that line necessarily answered Mako Light's question in terms of...
No,
refueling.
So what I'm saying is when rep comes in, that'll stop people doing that.
Yeah. But his question was with refueling coming in, do we think it'll change?
Well, that's a good question. By Blamsmith.
And I kind of think it probably won't. But I hope the whole cost of self-destructing your ship because I'm ran out of fuel, or because I'm being boarded. I think that whole self-destruct thing, I hope the consequence of self-destructing will actually mean longer respawn times.
So I'm going to ask this question because it's about to go off the screen. Question, do you think ship spawning should include fuel and ammo automatically? Maybe check boxes on claim page. So when you... Yeah, I think that would fall under your insurance, don't you?
Yep.
The type of insurance you have.
I think when you get your ship, you bought your ship had full fuel and full it had full fuel and it had full ammo for the weapons that came stock, or the weapons you have on it currently. So why not?
All systems online.
But I can see that also being an exploit. You know, you fire your $10,000 or your $10,000 torpedoes. So you you self-destruct, and you get a ship with all the torpedoes again.
There was a question. Well, someone was spamming. Well, that's a lot of spamming. Do you think ship spawning should include... No, we are that one already. What's the question? I've lost... Oh, there it is. Ethan Scott asked, question, do you think we will be able to siphon fuel from wrecks? Maybe by hand or limp along in the middle? Yeah, I think you will be able to do that eventually. Yep.
Well, we know from what they've said about salvage, you need to do that. They've said you need to take the fuel, the ammo, the weapons, the components off a ship before you salvage it. So if you need to take those things off, then that's automatically saying salvage. In terms of salvage, you must siphon the fuel off. So
you hear that, Algared, or not?
I am 2,000 meters away from you.
Yeah. Algared's making everyone wait. That's alright. Blame Algared, everyone. It's always his fault. And then when Badger's here, we blame Badgers instead. No.
And when John's on, we just blame you.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't let you get a word in edgeways.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, I am 400 meters away from you.
Right. So make sure you set your respawn point though before you come in. So you'll have to go up to the lobby first.
Okay, I better go land and then go to the lobby.
Yep.
That one.
Oh, it's reset all my shit. Oh, great. We have to do all these again. This is gonna suck. And then I'll pick up Call to Arms as well. I'm gonna share a quest with you, Algared. Here it comes. Let me know that you got it.
Accepted.
Yep.
And I'll just fly over to my hangar now.
Oh,
because I was literally the ship in front of you.
It's the worst thing about these character resets. It just resets all your rep. And I tell you what, the thing that really shits me is it took me so long to get back there. Like, I'm actually regretting doing it now. Like, I'm gonna have to do it all over again. It's shockingly bad. You just grind for like a whole week to get there.
Dear dark.
It is a little dark. Are you? I think I can hear you flying around me.
Yeah, well, I was 400 meters from you. I was literally in front of your landing zone. And then you said, no, go land and set your spawn. And I thought, oh yeah, I better do that. But it is so dark. What is ship lights? It's T, isn't it? Or is it L for lights?
It's T.
L for light, T for lights.
Yep. Oh well.
That was my helmet light.
Oh, what's going on with this? Alright. Question, long-term question. Do you think Pyro won't have any markers or have explorers map it out? Well, so eventually you'll have the you'll have to triangulate things with scanning and stuff like that. That was on the roadmap too, so you combine that with the cargo and stuff, that real basic game loop of a pirate can find you through scanning, and then he can come and stop you, and that carries on a few things. So cargo can be a miner, a refinery ship, an actual cargo ship doing a cargo run, and then you have to have escorts that go with that, and if you don't have escorts, you might have a bounty hunter that you send after the pirate. So that whole basic game loop should hopefully be there by the end of this year, and that is going to be huge. Just really big compared to what I've got now. It literally takes it from like almost no game. Like, let's be honest, this game doesn't have the most amount of gameplay right now, and it is kind of vanilla. And even then, in some cases, so let's take mining, it's still more advanced than any other MMO, but you combine it to where it's gonna go, and if you look at all the documentation, you can see where they're planning to go. This is such a shadow of what we're gonna have in the final stuff. But yeah. Alright, Algared, I'm about to start singing Why Are We Waiting if you don't hurry the fuck up. But yeah, where are you? Oh, we lost Algared and his camera. I think he's gone offline. Great, there we go. Whole computer crashed. Now I've got to wait for him to get all the way back here again. Typical Algared. Right. Stream is just going absolutely to shit today. What would be the size limit? 2 was size ship can be refueled. My English is a little weird there. By the Starfarer. Small hover quad all the way up to a Javelin. Vehicles, no. I think that'll be a specific ship for vehicles. Or you might take into something like the Crucible and refuel it off the repairing pad. So I think it would be small ships. Yes, I think small ships would be like that seems to be what this Starfarer's tail out is ships. So I think you could get a vehicle refueler, literally like a refueling truck. That was from Ethan Scott. Apple Crow asks, what if they change Death Now to be a character reset to make it more like how Gun would be? That's kind of a little bit like what it could be like, man. So but what they've said though is, so if you have a daughter, like in real life, you know, you have a bit of reputation and you're like, oh, you're John Smith's daughter. Oh, I know him. He was really good at this and this and this. And so you may already have affiliation with them. So you'll lose some of your rep, but not all of it. So maybe you'll only have, you know, 50 to 75% of the same rep that your father had. So yeah. Question from Macho. All right. If the Starfarer can mine fuel, then it can have unlimited range as the Odyssey. Yes, it could, but it doesn't. And I also think you got the one thing that we have to keep reminding ourselves, so I will keep reminding you as well, the real thing that the Starfarer has go for it is it's the only thing that can mine gas at the moment. Will it be the only thing that can mine gas? No. Because obviously they'll have smaller ships, right? But that's a huge thing. That's a unique feature that no one... And at the moment, the 3 ships that can take stuff out of the game that doesn't rely on other things is the mining vehicle, the gas mining, and the salvage. So they're probably the 3 most powerful ships, being the Orion, the Reclaimer, and the Starfarer. And I own all of them, and I'd probably recommend the same thing to yourselves. But yeah, I really think other mining vehicles... So the way I see the Starfarer working would be more like there'd be other ships bringing it Contanium to refine, and then it turns it into fuel and then gives it back to them. It's more of a fleet ship. They're moving together. So if you envision it that way, yeah. Algared just sent me a message. It said, crash to desktop, returning. No problem. He'll be back shortly. You back yet, Algared, or not?
I hope I'm back.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just going through the whole crappy resetting.
So you're probably all the way back at Port Tressler again.
Well, I had just landed, so I might hopefully be back at where we were.
Everest. Yep. No problem.
So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Voodoo Child asks, question, does fuel self-siphoning make the DER a completely top-to-bottom industrial ship for hydrogen fuel? Well, there's 2 types of fuel, so I think that's a no.
Yeah, so there's hydrogen fuel, which is just your normal maneuvering fuel, and there's the quantum fuel.
Yeah. And most of those ships, it's just extending their hydrogen fuel, so they're still going to have to go back and get quantum like every other ship. And even then, you're going to have to manage it. And I know, Algared, you were, even in early states with 890 Jump, you were having hydrogen problems when it first came out, remember? And they tweaked it.
Oh, everyone had hydrogen problems with the 890 Jump when it first came out, because it was it just guzzled fuel. But what I found is if you took your 890 Jump, you took it to one of the moons of Hurston, and you just landed on the moon, left your engines on, and the rotation of the planet, by the time you came back after 30 minutes, you had a full tank of fuel again, and you just took off and went. So, yes, it was a frustration, but it wasn't the end of the world. I should pop back into the stream video, I hope. because I'm back on camera 2.
You're on double sound as well, so you need to turn off your...
Sorry, I'll do that. Everything got screwed up by that. And I'll go back, and now get back in game.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Alright. Question from Sean Solo. Hey man, I just added you to the credits this morning. So you're not Sean anymore, you're Sean Solo. To encourage testing of refueling, what do you think about increasing fuel prices and selling at an extremely reduced rate to the Starfarer tanks to allow cheaper? Well, yeah, I think things like that will be encouraged. Like, you might be able to get cheap. I think it'd be more likely to go the other way where it just stays normal, but then it's cheaper at the Starfarer. I don't know, what do you think, Algared?
Well, I think his question was, will they make it cheaper for Starfarers to buy the fuel and then go off? And I think, I'd like to think there'd be some element where you could do that, but I think the start...
Oh yeah, that's true, because you're not going to be able to mine at the start, are you? You're not going to be able to collect your own at the start. Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, true. Oh, that's true.
So, I'd like to think that maybe if you buy in bulk, you know, because you're filling up all those tanks with Starfarer with fuel, maybe they'll make it cheaper. It'd be cool if they did. Oh, you stupid computer, why do you want to have an authentication code now?
Is that you, isn't it?
It's annoying as hell sometimes.
Soraki Lacoste. That is really hard for me. I butchered your name, I know I have. Soraki Lacoste. Question, hi guys, after the space whales and Yetis, don't you think it would be fair to add alien kangaroos? I'd love this touch. That'd be awesome, actually.
We don't have Yetis, we have Yowies, so we're going to have a Yowie. Yeah. We're also going to have the drop bear.
Yeah, if I had to vote any, it'd be the drop bear.
Yeah.
But I'd make it like a possum that can fly too, just to make it really scary, like it glides through the trees.
I like the April Fool's Day thing that the Australian Museum did. I did an article on the drop bear, and actually put the article up, map and everything. So yeah. So yeah, we don't want kangaroos.
You first.
But drop bears, Yowies. That's the Australian art version of a Bigfoot. I think drop bears are fairly unique. Kangaroos, big reds, they're nasty.
They're unique too. We're the only ones that got them, so.
Yep.
I don't know. I think they could make something like an alien kangaroo, so maybe it's got like 6 legs or something, you know, and you know, it hops on the back too, and then, you know, or it can walk like a, you know when you get those, when they made the Star Wars movies, they kind of cross-pollinated a lot of creatures to come up with, so something like that.
Even when they were looking at the big walkers, they actually looked at the way elephants walked.
They did,
and put that into the way the walkers did. So yeah, and I can see them doing that type of stuff. Like the way Star Wars did their animals, I think, is hopefully the way most people look at, if they're doing something, they look at the way things that are similar size or similar shapes. I shared a quest with you, by the way, and the way they work, and then they go, okay, how can we make that work with the same machine? And so yeah,
Microtech. God damn it. Are you at Everest, or where are you?
I'm logging in at the moment, still doing the startup screen, but I'm in game. I'm loading into the game. That's a good thing. Okay. Question from Sangrupa. Is everyone wet after today's ISC video? I'm wet just because I'm in Sydney.
That was kind of one thing we brought up, was the like tracks into the water, and when you go over with the hover bike, it's obviously going to have that plume come out the back. That'd be kind of cool.
And I think that type of stuff will come, but one of the things I got excited by that was the fact that the things we've been saying from the very first time they talked about rivers, the very first thing we said was, oh, this is a precursor to roads.
Yep.
And they said, oh, well, this is a precursor to roads, to lava flows and roads.
Yeah.
And so lava planets will have lava rivers. The road system between settlements, the road system is huge. It means you get roads to settlements. It means you've got passages, transport from AI vehicles going backwards and forward with cargo from the mining centers to the.
Another question. Got another question here. So Death Factor asks, question: do you think a fully fueled Starfarer will have much more danger / larger explosion than non-fueled one? I'd think eventually, absolutely. So yeah. You want to answer that one as well? Or?
So what was that question? Sorry.
Basically, the more fuel in the Starfarer, the bigger the explosion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
False.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Another question. I'll do this one.
I'm trying to do them in order because you've missed.
Yeah,
you've skipped over.
I'm trying to do that in order as well because if you missed them, and I was going to do one, and then I saw another question there. So that one's done. I don't think we answered Ethan's question. Would there be a size limit to the size of the ship that can be refueled by the Starfarer?
Yes, we did. You're massively behind where I'm at. So
that is because
BM. So the next question is by Crystal H, who asked, BM as a single person fighter. Go. No, it's too big. Way too big.
The BM, BM is not a single person fighter. That's like saying, it's about the size of a 890 jump at the smallest. And the 890 jump is not a single person ship. You can fly it. Yeah, can you fly it by yourself? Yes. Can you effectively fight with it by yourself? No. You really want two people. You either want two people on your remote guns or two people on your big guns, at least. So yeah, no.
Next question is by Macho. All right again. Question: how will Blades and AI keep the skills in the game? I ask this because the skill will be automated. Well, if you got asked the question, AI is generally never good as a human player. It's pretty obvious.
Yep.
Whoa! What the fuck happened there?
Okay.
Oh well, mistakes made.
Menus. So I'm going to try and join off you.
10 minutes to get the menus. Congrats. Voodoo Child asks, follow up. Yes. Hydrogen fuel for high-grade racing or those who want high-octane... yeah. So you're actually saying different fuel types. Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Yep. They did talk about that very early on when they were talking about refueling and refining fuel, that you'd be able to get different fuel for different types. And I know that Gillian, or I hope I've said his name right, who often sponsors a lot of the racing events. His whole org is done around the idea of refining different fuels and refining racing fuels and high quality fuels and I know, I'm pretty certain in early law they talked about that as well, but you could have high quality hydrogen fuels or lower, and high performance fuels. So absolutely, I fully expect that to be the case.
And going back to that other Starfarer questions, different things, different levels of explosiveness.
Yeah.
And it will also depend on what part explodes, because like it's got multiple tanks. One that's very low fuel might explode first, and then it chain reacts, because they've talked about chain reactions. Chain reacts and gets to the big one and boom,
Yeah.
And it'll be the same thing with Idris. You've probably already seen some of the elaborate explosions they have for the Idris, so yeah.
I have heard, to pick on Dell's comment about the Hindenburg having bad design problems. One of the bad design problems was, as I understand it, that the Germans were not getting the helium that they'd used. They had to use hydrogen because the Allies kind of had curtailed the helium supplies. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I'm going on memory, and I'm old, so But it may have also had other.
All right, you at the station, Algared, or where are you?
I am in my ship. Whereabouts is my ship? Okay. I am looking like I'm somewhere near Everest Station.
Yep. Alright, we'll try and land. We're going to have to head back to Microtech because the next quest is at Microtech.
Okay, so actually before I do that, I will go into that. Nope.
I've lost like half
Go
my
into the
cash.
mission giver. I'll also need you to reload that, or redo that mission for me.
We'll do one, I'm not trying to get, I'm trying to buy a med kit, but won't let me. I'm very much looking forward to the UI rework because I'm sick of this shit not loading. It's a bad.
Alright, got that done. And I'll do
Quest. Sharing it with you now. Shared. Shared. Shared.
Okay, can you share it again? I was in a different screen and it didn't kind of work.
Sharing. 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 Sempasta asks, will any ship be able to get to Pyro through the jump points? Yes. Yes, it will. Unless it's... no, actually, technically...
No,
yeah,
it doesn't have
so like a
jump drive, it can't
Merlin...
jump through.
Yeah, so like a jump drive won't be able to get you through. Yeah,
So
but any that has a jump drive will.
Yeah. Merlins, currently Merlins, Argos, are ships that don't have a jump drive. So those ships won't be able to go through a jump point unless they're carried by something else.
I just realised I've probably got like 15 of those bloody things and I didn't even realise. Let's have a look.
Those shared missions didn't come through again, so maybe it means I've already accepted them.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't have 15 of them. I had one, so that's good.
So where are you? You're on Microtech, are you?
No, I'm at Everest.
Okay.
But
So
I'm waiting
just
for you,
landed at
so...
Everest,
Yep, so I'm
and I need
waiting...
to come and do my bed.
Yep. Because we're most likely going to be coming back here anyway.
Well, this is where all my shit is, so I don't mind coming back here.
Yep. So if you guys got...
Just fill out
If you guys got
Wow.
questions, just put them in square brackets and we'll try and answer them.
That was a novel way of getting out of the Star-R. I stood up and fell out of the ship. Onto the landing pad. No running through corridors. It was so wonderful.
Please don't.
I'm doing lift music while I'm waiting for the lift because it's being so slow.
I will take the elevator over you because it's quicker.
I also need to go to the lobby and do the medical bay, so...
I know. I know.
But the Inforunners is on the pad.
Well, we can take that back if you want. We'll
Okay.
take it back to Microtech. So what pad number? I'll head down there now.
Not sure.
And do you have an upgraded drive in it or not?
No.
Alright, well
No,
then
it's
we're going in mine then.
Okay.
Actually we'll just take the Redeemer. Because then we can just go there, do the mission center and come straight back. Pad 8, when you're ready.
Yep. I'll reclaim that ship.
I'll let you drive too.
Oh, you bastard.
I'm a better shot than you. You know it and I know it, so it's better I'm on the...
No,
Sorry.
no, the real reason is that you know that I can't do two things at once. So it's his way of shutting me up.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never thought of that. I need to do that more often. Yeah, thanks for the tip.
You do it all the time.
Thanks for the
You
tip.
don't do it anymore than
Thanks
you
for
do.
the tip. I have to keep it up. No, I do it because I'm a better shot, so things die quicker. If you
Well,
if you
actually,
shoot,
usually do it
they
because
tend
you're
to
driving.
they tend to kill us.
Usually driving the show and doing everything else.
Yeah. Simpasta asks, how will ship insurance work? And LTI is still relevant. So LTI is basically covers the base variant of the ship that you get and the base guns. As soon as you change a gun, they've stated they haven't figured out if it's going to be the whole thing again or just that extra gun. But everything you add to it will have to be covered, essentially, in some, either all over again or something else. So yeah, LTI just means you're never going to lose that base variant. Question from Sean Chambers. Why can't the Starfarer take water from planets to stations? It will. Eventually it will be able to do that. But you'll probably need a pump or something to get the water inside. But that might be something that they add. So maybe there's a little vehicle that'll come that's like a pump vehicle that you can park inside the Starfarer.
It'd be nice to have a pump. Starfarer, the firefighter of the future.
Death Factor asks, between the discussion work with fire suppression and the atmospheric stuff in the roadmap February report, do you think we'll be getting internal files and this year? I would honestly say that seems a lot more like a Squadron 42 thing, unless you think different, Algared.
I think it'd be a nice thing to see. It. Do I think we'll see it soon? I don't know. I think they'll do it when they're ready.
Yeah, you got to remember they've kind of also said that we'll be seeing stuff in Squadron 42 all polished and finished off before they move it over. So yeah, I think that's going to be a key sign now that you'll see a preview of it on ISC, and then maybe a month or two later it might show up inside Star System itself. So yeah. Shempasta asked Dell, interesting. So no, he's not asking us. He's asking Dell. Yes, they are going to have different size jump points though. Basically, large is capital and large ships. Medium is medium ships, and small is small ships. Which is why the Freelancer is the largest ship that can go through small jump points, because it's the largest ship that fits on a small pad.
So pad 8 was it?
No idea, mate. I'm gonna have to get out of the ship to find out for you. Shempas asks, do you think they will actually get server meshing in this year? The way they're talking, they seem a bit hesitant. And you got to remember it's got many moving parts. Pad 8. Yeah, it's Pad 8. So yeah, you know, and with something that connects to so many moving parts, not only is it going to take time, but you're going to want them to take time, because if they have to ever go back and fix something and it doesn't work with something else,
it's going to screw it.
Yeah, it's another foundation thing. You know, if you've only got 3 legs instead of 4, or however many it needs, you get the references I'm trying to make. So. Yeah, it was on the roadmap to finish at the end of February, but just because it's finished, that's 90% there. That doesn't
the back end stuff done. Doesn't mean it's ready to actually.
Needs all those cogs so they actually can work together and all that stuff. It's got many moving parts. It pretty much connects. You basically got the whole single player game that's on its own type of thing, and the server meshing is allowing that type of game to go over every single multiplayer component. So in a single player game, if you shoot, the bullet goes that way and it just says the bullet went down this trajectory. But when you go into a multiplayer game, it's got to go, the bullet went down this trajectory, and it's got to send it to all the people that can see it. It's got to be able to tell who can see it and who can't see it, who needs that information, who doesn't. And that's just one bullet out of one gun. Copy that to every other thing in the game, you can kind of all of a sudden see that's a lot of work. So yeah. No more questions for the minute.
I'm in ship, but I can't raise your RAM plate yet. Do you want to check that I'm in your party?
I don't think we are in party.
Okay.
I'll come downstairs though and invite you and close the door.
Yeah, well, I got in ship, I closed the door, but I couldn't get the ramp to come up.
Alright, well, hang on, I'm coming down. Alright, there you are. I see you. Invite to party. There you go, mate.
Okay, and that'll mean
Yep.
all those quests that you shared.
That's why you didn't get them. Yep. Fair enough. Here we go. Sharing it with you now. You're flying, by the way. So get up there when you're ready. Can't believe I've got to grind all these bloody things again. I'm so frustrated with that. Alright.
So when you reset it, it wasn't supposed to reset our rep.
Dunno, but it did. It's sent to me every time too. Blamsmith meow asks question: do you think using missions and mechanics such as small jump points and fuel usage in atmosphere can make small cargo ships make more sense for use instead of stepping stones? Do you think using missions and mechanics such as small jump points and fuel usage? Yes. Yes, I do. Especially if you're doing, say, from space station to planet. It makes a lot of sense. You know, 5 people in 5 whole Bs is probably makes more sense than 5 people in a banner merchantman. You know, I like ideally, like especially when you look at the whole series, you can see how interconnected they are. Basically, the bigger they are, the more distance they go. So whole A's and B's do to space stations, and then the C's, D's, and E's are basically just interplanetary. They're not really going to go down to planet. They're just going to go to space stations. And then what that leaves for something like the Banner Merchantman is places where there is no space station, right? And it also leaves room for the Kraken Privateer to make your own space station or your own mall. So basically, the way I would say is the Banner Merchantman comes to you, you go to the Banner Merchantman. You go to the Privateer, so it's like a flying mall.
Where is our mission take us?
Over to the left. I'm looking. But they've nerfed this turret. It's all over at Microtech. We're going to Microtech.
Right. Because even though I've got it tracking the mission, it's not showing up for me. I hate it when it does that.
Alright, well, when we get into QT, Algared got these new lights that he wants to show people. So Algared will... I'll have to try
we'll do that. We'll do the unboxing when we get there, right?
Yeah, well, no, I was going to say while we warp there. I don't know if anyone gives a shit about lights, but whatever.
But it answered the question: why is the sound so screwed up? That and the okay, and
so I'll try and set this up to make Algared bigger and uglier. Yeah, it's not hard to do though. I'm calling it Algared Presents. Did it. So everyone can now see this thing I'm putting on screen. 1080 and...
Alright.
Alrighty, that should make Algared full screen. There it is. And then if I go filters and I've got to add a chroma key.
Ooh.
Chroma key. Boom.
No,
alright.
No,
there you go.
Background. Gee whiz it.
And now I'll just hide myself and
alright, so
yourself.
What feels like a millennium ago, we actually supported a Kickstarter for some new lights. So the first thing we got was the carry boxes. They came separately and they were lovely and they are really good. And yesterday I finally got delivery of the lights we'd ordered. And our lights are not USB, LED lights. And they're from a group called Fuser. And so here's the actual light itself. We've got 4 of these, 2 for X and 2 for me. They're USB controlled, they're compact, so it means the big heat generating lights that I'm using at the moment, we're going to be replaced by these. These get attached to the monitor.
So they took about 2 years to arrive, didn't they? We ordered them ages ago. Yeah.
We ordered them in the Kickstarter was in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
They were due in 2021, but COVID and everything else, and even some redesign issues. So the lights are really nice in terms of the fact that they're got magnet connection. And I'm feeling really weird because the stream's a bit slower than I'm watching them, so I'm getting caught by that. But they're magnet connections. You can swivel the lights depending on how you want. The light from them is fairly bright.
So I think the big thing though that I think most people should take away is that we got them for about half price of what they're selling for.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And you can change the color of the lights, of the warmth of the heat of the lights, as well as
and they're designed for portability too. So if we ever go anywhere, or they got batteries in them, so if we ever go somewhere and do an interview with someone, we've got lights. We got carry bags with them. Do you want to show people them in the carry bag? Because I think that's probably the last thing they'll want to see.
The whole thing is set up carry bag with its cord, stand, camera mount, and the light all goes in this nice little carry pad that is really nicely secure. And when we ordered these, we got these because we thought, just in case the boxes aren't good. But the boxes they came in were actually, fairly solid, and the box would have easily worked as a carry box as well. But
so now I've just got to pressure Algared to get down to the post office and send it to me.
once it stops, once this rain event stops, and I'm no longer drowning.
Yeah.
My back garden's ankle deep in water at the moment.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know if people know that, but yeah, Sydney's having a really bad thing. All right, Algared, we're heading over that way. 65
heading over what way?
million. There you go. Yeah, right there.
Which way?
Where I'm shooting.
I can't see where you're shooting at.
Can't you see the little square? The little blue diamond.
No.
It's let me look in the map so we can just tell you where it is in the map.
And I've even got the mission track.
It's a Calliope. It's Calliope.
Calliope. Why do that?
Alright, I'm gonna make you go back to normal size now. Goodbye, big Algared, and welcome back, normal Algared. Where is he?
I'm sure that makes everybody happy.
Yeah. I don't know, they're horribly scarred now. You saw him up close, paws and all.
Yeah, it's really frustrating when the mission, you're tracking the mission and it doesn't show where the mission is.
Alright, so, question, do you think using the mission no, we answered that one already. Alright, so Sempasta asks, lots of people say the same thing about the mole prospector, that it's better to have multiple people in a prospector than in a mole. What's the point of a medium-sized ship? Well, obviously you've got bigger lasers, but you've also got multiple people. But also, you got to remember, we keep saying underground mining's coming, and people completely forget that every single time. And you got to also realize you've got bigger saddlebags. There's a whole bunch of mechanics on online. So, things like armor, defense, all those type of things. So at the moment, you're seeing it down this lens of perspective, and the problem is most people. One of the reasons we always do something in a group, and a couple of people like Dell often hangs out with us, and we'll talk about stuff, and Dell will come up with something that nobody else has thought of, and then we'll all be like, holy shit. So that's one of the best things about doing this stuff in groups. We never ever like to do it alone, and we never ever tell anyone they're wrong until maybe afterwards and the whole group's had time to analyze it. And we don't say they're wrong, we just say we disagree. And
we disagree because X, Y, and Z. And
so it becomes a consensus is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
And some people, and we usually do manage to talk each other around. Or batter each other into an opinion.
We will also agree to disagree, though, too.
But we do agree to disagree at times. Yeah. So it's not just, you must agree, you must be one of us.
Yes, I agree with you, Dell. I think it will make Algared's head shinier. He asked, will the lights make your head shinier?
Yes, I did see that question.
That or get him a tinfoil hat, Dell. One or the other.
And I can't see where it's not showing, even though I've got the tracking for the mission up. I can't fly.
Untrack it and retrack it. That might fix it.
All right.
It's on the other side of the planet. It's basically almost complete opposite to where we are now.
Roger that. But
try untracking and retracking and see if it works. Next question we have here is, I don't know who's, in real life, commodity traders aren't the ones ferrying the goods around with that in mind. Do you reckon they'll be able to hire others to move the cargo around? Absolutely. They've talked about a reputation system where you can do it with AI as well. So yeah, 100% think that'll be a thing. There, Blamsmith. Next question. I'm just going down, so I am trying to catch up here. Sorry. Surakai Lacoste asks, with the current imprint/cloning system, do you think that someday a data running ship would be able to transport imprints from one system to another? That sounds awesome.
I think that would be something they...
Doesn't that give another idea to, like, VIP kidnapping missions? Well, I've got you in my USB stick, don't move!
No,
the guy gets
I've got your data. You don't give it back. You know,
you're not respawning.
Especially if we're over there. Well, they can respawn, but their respawn is going to be.
Do you want me to
marred?
Do you want me to warp us around there, Algared?
Yeah, you can do that.
Did it not track when you retracked it?
It didn't track when I retracked. I was going to go to the for comm station. And then from there,
get in the guns. We're going to do a comparison of how good Algared is at shooting compared to me. Yeah. So we can put this to bed once and for all.
I have not said you are better. I'm not that you're better or not better.
Oh no, I'm just throwing you on the bus.
Yeah, because you're a bastard.
I learned from the master.
Didn't learn from me.
Alright, here we go.
Initiated.
No. Why won't the guns fire?
Because we're at warp, maybe?
Okay.
They're firing now? Yep. My old screen's shaking, so they're definitely firing. Alright, just remember guys, try and ask a question in square brackets. I had a bot set up to keep asking you guys, but it just doesn't want to work.
Yeah, I've
been like that for weeks.
Pay me or I sell your imprint to the authorities.
Yep. But you know, you ever seen those shows where they like kind of hold the person hostage or something, but it's like a USB stick? It's like, don't move or I blow it away. I just found that really funny.
Otherwise, no, and I can see that being a thing, because the distance from where your last imprint was will impact whether you can do stuff. So you're doing your imprint and trying to update it. That could have significance. So you'll have to mark the enemy, because I'm still not seeing them.
It's all good. It's all good. We're not there yet. We're 42 k's away.
So what have we got on there? What are we armed with?
Size 5s. You shoot them once and they should explode. Everything.
M7As, okay.
Yep. Cannons. Oh shit. I didn't change my guns. Oops. Still got... Oh. I have to get rid of those. Oh well. When we get back to Everest, I'll have to change them.
So I think also there's a difference in the way we fly ships and fight. I think often when I'm flying, I see my goal is get the gunner on target. But sometimes I feel a lot of people take the view of, I've got guns, I'm gonna line up and shoot myself.
No, I tend to favour the pilot, especially if I'm in something like a hurricane. It just depends. Like, so if I'm flying with someone and I know that I can shoot them better than them, then I will shoot them. So when I fly with you, I'll tend to favour myself over you because I know I'm going to hit them. But then if I'm with someone that I know there's a good shot, then I'll put them above myself every time. Alright, contacts, missiles incoming. Contact just came in, marked as 1, so you can press 1 to target.
Targeted.
I don't know how I'm gonna go with these guns though. Oof. Do not like these guns at all. Alright, they're in range. Done. Oh no, we hit him, but we didn't kill him.
I thought we got him.
Rotating. Should be dead ahead, Algared. If you just keep vaguely aiming forward. Yeah, nice. You got him. Good job. Good job. Alright, back to Atmo. Oh wait, he wasn't the main person.
Again, I can see the neutralized target, but I don't have a
Yep.
target to kill.
Yep. Me either. So we'll just head there and see what pops up. There we go, there's one.
There's another one.
Main target is 1.
Got him targeted.
And then secondary is 2. 4Ks and closing, you should be able to fire it, yep. Two's closer now, but I think we just keep going for 1.
Yep.
You got him, good job. 2's in target. He's almost in range. Nice shot. Good job, man. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Alrighty.
Nice and easy, nice, casual, lazy, joyous flight. Notice a bit of screen clipping in the turret at times. At certain times, the consoles disappear and kind of get half undershadowed. Okay, running data imprint, done in the first episode of Firefly. Impact River is in the USB stick. Yeah, could do something like that. There's also an argument to be made that you carry your own imprint around. You could go to another system and imprint. Yeah, if your imprint's on a ship that's got a med bed, then you probably could do that. So yeah, and the closer your imprint is, or more recent your imprint is, the better it's going to be for you.
Sharing quest.
Do you want to share that mission again?
I just shared it just then.
And got it.
Wow, Corp. Alright, well I'm gonna go to Hurston on the way and change.
And we've got a question from a comment from Syriac Lacoste, who says, Blacksmith, imagine the opportunity to hack imprints with the Herald or the MSR.
Yep.
Opportunities for.
Can you imagine if we hacked Algared's imprint and gave him hair? That could be amazing.
You bastards. You bastards.
We'll be able to call him Captain Hair again, wouldn't we?
Well, I like the idea of we were talking about last time of the hair. The hair grows as you get older, so the older you are, the longer your beard is, or the longer the hair is. So you've got to go to the barbers to be presentable, and the older you are, your hair changes colour. So instead of being nice brown, it goes to a grey or a black, or white. Same with tats. Older you are, your tats fade, and then if you get regenerated, you got to go get your tats again because you're now a clean canvas. I like all those ideas. I'd like to see them done. Whether they'll do them is another thing. Voodoo Child says, question. If a shop pod is made for the cat, do you think a barracks pod would be needed to prevent shoplifting, piracy? Yeah. I think, you know, if you're doing things where you're doing things with players coming on board your ship, yeah, you want the opportunities to have your security there to discourage them from doing things. It's a bit like the argument that I've always argued, but I don't think the Kraken should have massive big ship-to-ship guns. I don't think a carrier should be having guns that go toe-to-toe with other ships. But Osiris has put the argument forward that if I've got the for privateer, you want the big guns because you're opening your ship up to people, and so everyone's going to know where you are. So big ships are going to come in and they'll pirate. So you need something big to actually discourage those ships who are coming to pirate you because, hey, you're an unarmed carrier and you're using all your landing spots for your customers. So I get that. So there's got to be that balance, but I never liked the idea of carriers having big ship-to-ship guns. Their defense should be basically in the ships they're carrying. They should have lots of ACAT guns and anti-aircraft or anti-missile weapons, but having big capital ship guns just seems wrong.
I've got some stuff that I have to do today, so I am going to make this stream a little shorter than normal. So I say we've got probably about 13 minutes left, so if you want to get your questions in, please get them in now. As I'll be wrapping up a little earlier today, just because I've got some other real life stuff I've got to do. My mum needs some help, IT help, so I've got to go over there and myself for a couple of hours. She needs a whole bunch of her Google stuff set up, so yeah. Alrighty, where are we walking? Oh no, we're going to
Yeah, I think Del, that's the whole question that's being that Law Team have actually said it's a question that's being raised with this whole regeneration thing. That you're not the same person anymore. You're a fake. And even after being even after the idea of teleportation, your atoms have been dispersed. Are you the same person? It's that whole Star Trek question. Are you actually the same person after you've been teleported? But
or you're just a copy.
But with the regen thing, it's even more so. You've actually been killed. Are you actually the same person now you've died and being kind of resurrected? It's a bit like being dead or mostly dead.
But you kind of don't know. You kind of don't know if you're a dead or a clone.
Yeah. Are you mostly dead? And if you're dead, there's only one thing to do.
Kind of creepy when you think about it like that, though. It really, really is.
It is. Are we zombies? The zombie apocalypse has come. If you've been regenerated, your character goes into zombie mode. Spread the disease. There's a bit like Princess Bride. When you're dead, there's only one thing to do. Rifle through pockets and the rules change.
Not much. My mum can be a little full on, but then again, I'm a little full on, so that's probably where I get it from. But I'm sure you guys can all relate to helping family members with IT stuff. We all tend to get pulled into it, I'm sure.
Yep. Let me just make sure I'm tracking that mission. Let's see if it works this time.
Pretty much.
And it does say it is tracking, so... Oh, damn it.
How could you just die? You just left the ship.
I just crashed to desktop again. That's why I just went down it.
That sucks because we're almost at Everest.
Well, the game just crashed. Yes, I know. And then the game just went...
Yeah, there's a reason why these missions are so hard to do in a fighter, because they're getting you to go all across the system. And it just takes so long to warp everywhere.
Yeah, and you often find you run out of fuel. And that's a frustration with the Hurricane. It is a carrier-based ship, so it's not supposed to be having that massive range that your big ships have.
Can you imagine how much more alive these stations are going to look when it's got ships coming and going and docking and all that shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So they even look impressive now. They're going to look so much more impressive when they're actually doing stuff.
We're going to be drinking green stuff, yes. So Death Factor asked the question, with all the corpses in game, do you think there will be a protean recycler missions in the more impoverished parts of the UEE? So are we going to be having what was that? The green stuff, the movie with the
Star Wars
recycling.
Yeah.
Not Agent Orange. Not Agent. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but
just watching this ship try and land tells you that the ship is in a very temporary state. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, Soylent Green. So will there be Soylent Green in those impoverished missions? Yeah, why not? There's certainly missions at the moment to remove dead bodies, but they just end up being boxes. So.
Yeah.
So yes, that question, by the looks of it, did give you a migraine. But we'll fix that now.
Is in-game sound coming through to you guys in stream? Just out of curiosity, because like I'm having lots of sound issues today. Must be part of when I rebuilt the whole, because I had to rebuild the whole stream when the computer broke. That's why we were gone for. It took me 9 days to get it working again. De facto asked question with all the corpses. Oh no, you already asked that one. Blamsmith question. How excited are you for physical cargo? I think it's one of the biggest things of the year, don't you, Algared?
Yeah, I think that physicalized cargo had a bigger impact, and it is huge. It's massive in terms of its in-play. And while we may have hated the physicalized inventory, I think that was a necessity, A, for what we want to do, but also as a precursor to the physicalized cargo. And physicalized cargo means that it's in your ship. If it's not, you can physically move it, and it has to be moved to a station, and that'll add unloading times and loading times when you're loading up a ship. So yeah, I just think it gives that ability to equalize. No more bang, I've sold everything. Yeah, I've sold everything, but it's now got to be unloaded. So I think it's huge.
Yep. Question from when do we expect 3.7 to go to PTU? Or your guess is as good as mine.
I've got the easy answer: when it's ready.
Yeah.
3.17 will be ready when it's ready, like a wizard. I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but yeah, we can't give much more than that type of answer. So, Shem Pasta says, do you think CIG will fix the issue with the Hercules tipping over when trying to land it? Eventually.
What was that ship? Sorry, I missed that.
The Hercules tips over when trying to land.
Yep.
Hopefully they will. It's a lot of people used to complain about all the ships tipping over. You know, when the hover mode was in, people used to complain about, I can't land the ships, they keep tipping over.
Yeah.
But if you knew your ship, like back in the day when if you knew the ship you were flying and knew how the thrusters were working, you could land easily. And I'll be honest, I didn't really have trouble with hover mode in terms of flying in atmosphere and landing. It was just knowing that if I was flying a ship that I knew, but if I was flying a ship that I wasn't used to flying, I had all manner of trouble. And I think that was part of the problem. People were trying to land ships that they weren't used to flying, or they weren't taking the time to get to understand how their ship functioned. And it just meant you had to be careful. You had to, you did have to be not just zap in at 500 miles an hour and stop on a dime and expect nothing to happen. But yeah. Question from Crystal Stalking says, what would you consider the absolute minimal viable product for beat and eventually launch. For beta and eventually launch. I think Chris in the past has talked about it being several where did it land me? Okay, so I was in your ship and I spawned in your ship and your ship is millions of miles away. Or did it spawn me in the... What ship did it spawn me in? You know when I came back in game, you know what ship it spawned me in?
Your other one?
The one that was stored, yep.
Yep, I've been having that weird bug too. I did
that's
what I did. I did do a character reset to get rid of that one, so yeah. What was the last question? Who was it from?
That question was from Crystal Stalking.
Yep. So next one is Ryushi.
What would you consider the absolute minimum viable product for beta and eventual launch?
Basic game loops. There just isn't any basic game loops there. So yeah. Ryushi asks, what do you guys think about a ship that is dedicated to buff regen allied ships, large ship, either bubble to help regen within or laser? So wouldn't that be more likely a ship that sends out drones to repair other ships? That's how they'd do it. They wouldn't do it so it's like lasers or whatever. They'd do it through actual drones, so it's like a drone repair ship. I could see that. It'd just be a bigger Vulcan, in a sense. So yeah, maybe. Do I think it's a priority? Nope. But also, we do have drones on the Crucible, so maybe it could be doing that anyway. So yeah, that's a tough one. Algared, do you want to...
Here's the question from Roshu. What do you think you've got of ship, a dedicated buff applied to ships, larger ship, with bubble to help? Yeah, it's kind of a question. Will a fighter that's in its mothership's shields get the benefit of the mothership shields? And I think yeah. Will there be ways to buff that ship? I'd like to think so. And I think if we do have things like that, it'll be you do it with things like you said, drones, or extending this, or being inside the shield bubble of your ship, or and they have talked about in terms of sensors. If you're flying close to a big ship and someone's scanning, they're not going to pick up your small ship. They're going to pick up the big ship. And so we've talked about you go to a Starfarer or a Hull E, and you're coming in as a Hull E, and because the Hull E is so big, all the little fighters that are hiding behind it, you can't scan them. And then all of a sudden, as you get closer, you suddenly go, oh crap, that's not a Hull E. That's actually a Hull E with 15 fighters or torpedo bombers or everything else ready to jump on me, and I'm screwed. So I think that stuff, is certainly something that's coming.
Okay. All right, next question. There was one before that one. Hold on. Roishu. Then we had Death Factor says, I got sense from reading the monthly update that we'll be getting a vehicle-based event soon. Am I crazy? I haven't read it yet, mate. I basically got up, started doing this, and yeah, so I've out of the loop for the last, I don't know.
Do I think we'll get vehicle-based events? Yeah. Well, look, if you think of it, a player-organised Daemon Rally is a vehicle-based event. And I know when we first started doing, when my org started doing Crux Cup, CIG said we were ahead of them by a couple of years of what they wanted. They intended and want to do that type of stuff. So will we see that type of stuff in game? Absolutely, 100%. And Daemon Rally is just an extension of that type of player designed gameplay. But when you think of it, that is no different from a vehicle. That is a vehicle event. And if you look at the old racing car missions you could do, they were vehicle-based events.
Yeah.
Will we see ones where you're having to use a tank? I think definitely. So yeah, vehicle-based missions. If they're not in yet, they will come.
Yeah, we've talked about this on other streams as well. Yep. Like, there's going to be any combination of cross-pollination between vehicles and ships, and not being able to go into an area and all that. That's all going to be a thing. All right. So
and they even talked about on streams, the fact that sometimes you'll need to have a vehicle because you can't land on an area because of the problems that it's got, because of atmosphere or other issues. So yeah.
So
Okay,
my mum is here, so I'm going to rapid fire the rest of these questions. All right. So Lamb Smith asked question: will physicalized cargo relying us getting persistent hangers? I don't think so, but it wouldn't hurt. And we know the first variant of that is just going to be dragging and dropping between aggregates. So would you agree with that? Or?
Yeah, I think I'd agree. It's not going to be necessitate getting them, but it'd be nice to get them.
Yeah. Will ships explode when submerged in oceans? When some will, some won't. In 317.
Yeah, it depends on the ship.
Yeah, and the shields and stuff like that.
But I did like seeing the vehicle in the river with its wheels under the water. That looked nice.
It did, and even the ability we can walk underwater now was nice too.
Yeah,
I want to know.
As long as you got a suit on.
I want to know if you can take a cyclone and go under the ocean now. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You could do the yellow submarine thing. All right. Sorry to make this shorter than usual. I've got some stuff I've got to help my mum with, and it was the only time she had free, and she's been bugging me for about a month, and I obviously had the whole problem with the computer, so you know what it's like with parentals, so yeah. Especially where then they're older people, they tend to be a bit more fussy.
So on that note, just remember that, Execute. Older people tend to be more fussy. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. And I'll do what
Badges does.
What Badges did.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so if you like what we do, like, subscribe, do all the other stuff, because it does give us a warm fuzzy. We do read every comment, so leave any chat comments below if you're watching this later.
Things like those lights. Things like those lights are made possible by things like Patreon and stuff like that.
Yeah. So and the whole goal of that is to make our content and shows better and give us options for if we're going in places and being able to interview people. So so we're always looking at ways to try and improve the show, and things like Patreon do actually help us, as do the likes and subscribes and all the rest of it, because that feeds the algorithm and then adds to ad revenue.
Well,
so
the algorithms hurt us a little bit, actually. I've been saying that to Algared earlier. Like, because we took a week off, it just gave us this big slap, and it's just not recommending it. Like, so the video we did was down in views. The 2 live streams we've done have been down in views. It's just not recommending us as much because we took a week off. And I've heard
that was due to technical issues.
It wasn't deliberate at all. And I've heard of people that basically took 3 weeks off and their channel's just dead. So yeah, that's how harsh it is.
Really are important for,
get us back up
certainly
there.
For a little independent producers. Unless you're a big company, you've got to work your butt off, and you rely on those likes and subscribes. So we do rely on those likes and subscribes and everything else, and the support you guys give us is immense and huge. And we love you all for it.
Yeah, likewise. All right,
so
he's been Algared, I've been Execute, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Take care, guys.